Hello everyone, and welcome to another B1 review. Today we will be looking at the Transformers Legacy Nova Prime. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're starting out in vehicle mode this time because I think it'll be better presented this way. But first off, let's look at some of the details. There is a lot of nice molded detail in there. You can see the edge of the gun, the legs, trailer. I mean, you can obviously see is the feet for robot mode. Oh, some nice molded detail. The only real paint stuff is on the front here. That nice gold and teal windshields. Little bit of head syndrome right there. Other side, there is that. Now, it does just normal plastic wheels, so it can kind of roll. It's a bit slippery and spin. That was a nice spin. You got that, but let's do a comparison, which might be a little bit difficult with the size of these. But here is Ultra Magnus beside him in vehicle mode. Kind of pull that off. There you go. And let's get a smaller figure in here. We've got Puffer beside the massive truck. Just sit on that, kind of. There you have that. Now, since there's no real articulation other than these can angle up, I guess. They can go backwards, and then it's just a hinge there and a hinge to the side. If you want, you can have it like that or something. You can do that. These guns on the side are just on a 5mm port, so they just plug in right there so they can turn a bunch. If you want, you can have it down, but personally I like to have them up like that. There is that. But now, let's get on to transformation. And we will be going into the unarmored mode first, because this is a remold and repaint of the Siege Armada, Cybertron Optimus Prime. But first, we just detach the guns, set them off to the side. And he also has this right here just plugged in. It's a smaller gun for robot mode if you want. You don't have to take that off at all, but just for the sake of having everything detached. First, we'll just lift these up for clearance, and then you can see right here, it is just a little bar right there clipped into a clip onto his leg, so you just pull, and it might come undone down there on the tag. It's a little bit difficult to, there we go, to get unstuck, especially once you get to the second leg. It's just the same. There we go. All that undone. And then this, you just pretty much slide up on that rail and then pull out, and then pull that apart like that. And then this whole trailer section you can put off to the side for now. Now, we just got the base truck mode. And now you can see it's pretty much just him in a bit of a yoga pose with his hands sticking out. But first off, the arms, you can see there's kind of a tab there that holds it. Not really in place, it kind of helps you know where it goes. And then this is on a hinge there. You just unhinge that and don't tab it in, but unfold it like that. And then you want to flip the waist all the way around, and then just compress all that in, and it'll kind of click in place. Or well, you want to, before you click that in, slide that up as like a backpack, and then do that, and just tab his legs there, and then you also see you have to bring his legs out because there is a little tab right there on the crotch plate that will tab into that slot right there. So you just bring them out like that, and then the heel spurs go flipped out right there. Do that. Put that all in place, and now the legs are done. Now, it is a bit unbalanced on my copy. It's a bit weird with how the ratchets are aligned. But now for the chest, grab both of these parts and pull out and down. It's just on a hinge down there. Flip it out that much. Flip the head out and just tab it right back into place. Then you just bring those in, tab slot connection there, bring the elbows down, spin the wrists, all that situated, and then there we have him in his first robot mode. You can see not too much is revealed really, it's just the head and all the other stuff in a different configuration. You can see he's got some nice gold for his fingers there, for his hands. So let's get a close up on that head sculpt right there. Nice teal eyes right there, like the color of that face mask, or at least for the head. And then back is just front of the vehicle sticking out right there. So now there's that. Like I said, accessories. Sadly, he doesn't come with a sword, which I feel like they could have been able to do. But here is one of the guns from vehicle mode. You can just tab it into his hand, or peg it in, I guess. There's a fly there for some reason. But there you go. Just have him hold it, and it is 5mm port there, and it is Bluetooth compatible. So just peg that in right there, and then you can do a nice Bluetooth right there. Some pew pew action, shooting at some Decepticons. There's that, and then if you want to store it, you can peg it on his back there, but then it kind of just looks weird with how much the backpack sticks out. But there are some ports right there that you can put there. I think that looks a lot better. But there is that, and if you try and take it out, it likes to do that sometimes. But there's that. Just set it on to the side, and then we have the black guns that go on the side of his trailer. They're pretty much just mirror images of each other. That side's really hollow, but like I said, some really nice molded detail right there. But these as well, just bag into his hands. Some dual blasters right there. There you go. And then these as well are Bluetooth compatible. So just plug those in. These ones are a lot looser than the other one, but they do kind of hold in. So now you can do another you can do another Nova Prime pew pew right there. Untab that. And then storage for these, for this mode at least, you can take those off. Or actually, if you want, because there is a peg right there for how it stores, if you want, you can put it on his arm like that. Looks a little weird, but you can do it if you want. Then these as well, you can peg in there or here. Here, personally, to me, it looks a lot better. you can do that. Kind of like this one here, just have a whole arsenal on his back. There you go. Oh, and I also forgot to mention this one. I do like to plug it into his arm with how much it sits flush in there as like a arm cannon. I like to do that, I think. But we have that. And then these, I also like to do something. If you want, you can take these, put them on the other side, put them there and there. And then you can give them like some giant shoulder cannons right there. Nice look, in my opinion. There is that. Take those off for clearance. Now, for articulation. The head is just on a ball joint, so nice wiggly, waggly right there. You can look up a little bit, down a decent amount into his chest. 360, because again, it's just a ball joint. The arms as well, on a nice and tight joint right there for 360. These, they can go up that much. The elbow bend is 90 degrees. When you bring it down, it can sit flush, but there's also a little bit of clearance to go backwards for any reasons you might want. And then wrist is on a swivel. Then for the waist, you do have a nice waist pivot. It can do a full 360. It will most likely untab it like that it just did. These also, if you bring these out, tend to come undone, which can be kind of annoying sometimes. But the legs are on some ratchets right there, which again, for mine, I think they were slightly misaligned, so it's wibbly wobbly if you don't get it in the right spot. Like, there, that's the best I can do, but it's weird and off. And the legs, his thighs are like really like short and they're long legs, but also, or well, I guess it's slightly under 90 degrees. It's still got a nice decent bend. You can swivel here, no swivel at the knee or the feet, but they are on a hinge, so they can do a decent amount of ankle tiltage. And then heel spurs there. I guess you can also go back a bunch, forward all the way for that. You can kind of do a high kick. And then he is capable of doing the splits, but these will get in the way. You can do that if you want. But there you have his his first mode right there, or I guess second. So now we'll get on to transforming him into the main bot. Now, to prepare the main figure, all you want to do is take the crotch plate right there, bring it down on a hinge, just turn it around, it's on a mushroom peg, and then tab it back in, just make that all nice white surface. Then bring the chest out and put that down, and then bring the head, flip it back into the chest, put it back, and then for the legs, you just want to flip in the heel spurs, and then take these off of his backpack, and then there you go. Now we can put him off to the side for a little bit. Oh, actually, I forgot to do a comparison, but with just this right now, compared to Warpath, you can just see the size right there. Ooh. Something fell. But put him off to the side. Now, for his trailer, you can just start disconnecting things. You want to bring all that forward, and then it can be kind of hard to do it sometimes. It might look like it's bending the plastic, which it is, but you kind of have to do it. You just pull that out and down, if you can, like that. That's always scary sometimes. And then on some weird pegs right there, like clips and stuff, it just pegs in. Put that off the side, and now these, which you can probably already tell is the feet, you want to untab them and then take these out. There's some weird like slots and stuff which keep them in place. Just want to take those out like that. And then there are heel spurs that go into that, which are very much needed. Just flip those out. There's that. And then the shoulder pads can go there. Now, these that you pulled off the backpack, you just flip those forward, and then there's those. Trying to get a little setup here. Now, for the main section of the trailer, you want to first move some of this stuff out of the way, then unhook that giant bar there. Now, if you can see, I've had this figure for a little while. It can kind of mess up that slot right there, where it hooks in all the time, but should still last a little while. Bring that forward, flip that in, and just flip those there to make the backpack. And then the guns can just flip around there on that hinge and fold down or up, I guess. Then fold that up and bring that up like so. Now we have all the pieces we need in their forms right there. Now we can get the main figure himself again, and we'll start from the legs up. First, this, you can see a tab right there, and that clip kind of, it doesn't really clip in, but it will just go into that, and then this there, and then everything else really just like with pure clutch power just slides in and keeps it in place. Get some boots right there, same thing there. Now he has great strength of feet. I can never say that right. There are the legs. It's got a little bit of wibbly wobbly if you don't have the legs out all the way. But there is that. Now, for the pieces you got off the backpack, you can see it is a tab and a post right there that will go into the slot and the hole there. Just line it up, peg it in for both sides. And he's got some like nice arm, like gauntlet kind of things. Now, for his shoulder pads, and they are directional, so this one you can kind of see where it's got that bit right there that sticks down more, and it's got the little peg there. That will be for the left shoulder. Now for this, you want to take it, and there is a peg and a hole there. The peg goes there, and then this will sit in the little hole that was right there. So just take it and line it up, get everything all secured, and then there's a slot there for that extra tab to go. Now you just do that for this one as well. Just plug it in. Now you want to take the giant backpack, and right there you can see some clips for the back right there, and you just want to make sure everything's back and all clip right there. Now just fold that down, and then there are some tabs right there that will go into slots on his chest over the windshield. And there you go. Last step, pan the camera up and flip the head around. And there you have Nova Prime in his main robot mode. Might have panned it up a bit too much. But there you have him there. I totally love this figure. I think it looks sick. We can get close, you can see on his chest, but it does have some detail. You got his head right there, looking down upon you. His horns are in that nice, like, gunmetal gray, kind of. That's done on the chest as well. Same teal eyes. Nice head sculpt. Does have a bit more detail now. like the chest, like I said, he's got a bunch of nice molded detail because he's based off of a Siege figure. And legs, he's got some of that shiny blue right there, some gray in those spots. And I do eventually plan on getting the DNA upgrade kit and the toy hacks for this figure. I think that'll make it a lot better. If I do get it, then I'll try and make a video on that if I can. But as of right now, we have the base figure, which is great on its own. Totally love this figure. Also, the back you got here. Not too much, just a back, pretty much. His wings are also in that slightly shiny gunmetal gray with a gold highlight right there on the wings. Like I said, with the way the ratchets are on his thighs, it can kind of mess up the way he stands. So those heel spurs are very much needed for some things. And then he also has the molded feet, so he's got to kind of have a wide stance right there. Make sure everything's back in frame. But now for weapon storage. First, for these, there is a hole right there that will plug in those right there. Just peg it in, and if you want to keep track of how to get it level, those 3 bumps right there, that middle one, just put the hollow part right there on top and push in. That'll kind of not keep it in place, but help you know how to keep it level. And you do the same thing for that side. And then this, once again, you can have them hold it, or now, like it's intended, you can put that right there on his gun. I like to keep it upside down because of clearance, but just put it on there. And there we have the full look for Nova Prime. There is that. Now for some robot mode comparisons. This is going to be difficult to do. But here we have the figure it was remolded and repainted of. The Siege Cybertron Optimus. Which they look great side by side. This dude's legs are loose, so he's going to fall. Let me see what they changed, what they kept the same. Some nice work there. And now, once again, we have itty bitty Warpath right here next to the ginormous Nova Prime. We have that. And like I stated before, he doesn't come with any melee weapons or anything. But something I like to do, bear with me here. I don't know where it is at the moment, but something I like to do is take the... Whoa, camera's getting all messed up here. But something I like to do is take the Age of the Prime's Prima Prime, his sword, and I'll use that as his weapon, just like the DNA kit does. That sword's pretty much based off of that. But sadly, I don't know where that is at the moment, so I can't show you guys. But here we have the normal figure, all in his giant mode right here. I think it looks amazing, in my opinion. I've always loved the Nova Prime figure. But, right, we have one more thing to show off. First, you want to bring up his arms, I think, and you don't have to tap them together, but I like to. And then bring the guns down, and you will have to flex it a little bit, but flex it around the gun and bring it there. There, like that. Now, you can untab that and bring the arms down. Dang it. Sorry about that. Went dark for a second. But we've got all that situated. We just bring his arms in, bring that up, and it should, once you get it in the right spot, just peg right into the underside of his hand. And put it in there like that. There we go. Now, you can also, for his attack mode, I guess, bring these up, and they're not supposed to be guns, but something I like to do is flip these up and around like that, and because of those, I think it kind of looks like guns, so you can do that, which his attack mode is really cool. And then all of those, like I showed off previously, other than those up top, are Blues compatible. You can just peg them in like that. If we can actually put it in there. There we go. We have those. And you can do a giant Nova Prime attack mode. Bloosh. Do a giant attack right there. And if you want, these here on his arms are also 5mm ports, so they're very thin, but they can kind of hold those if you want to use them as like arm blasters or something. And because it is based off of a Siege figure, he does have some points on the figure where you can put some like blast effects to make it look like he's getting shot, like right there on his shoulder. Just put it there. You can have it on his leg like that. It'll look like he's getting attacked from all angles. Boom. And I think that's it for those. But I think that's really cool. Just put those all to the side. But there you have it. There is my review of the Legacy Nova Prime. And I really enjoyed this figure. I thought it was really great. But just like always, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.